guys? Welcome to the Just Show podcast, episode 6. We're joined by another guest, a great friend of the channel, of the podcast, Sam, aka Squiffix. Say what's good, turn on your camera, say what's good to the people, man.
Yo, what's up?
Oh my god.
Wow, man. It's been a while since I've been here, but I love this podcast.
Man, it's been a while since, we took kind of like a year break. So, but we're straight, we always like having you on. So basically, how you been, bro?
Oh, man, it's been busy. To sum it all up, this semester I'm only taking 2 classes.
Okay.
And originally I was like, it was supposed to be a super chill semester. And then I got tied up with work and research. And it's, I think, the busiest I've ever been in my whole life.
Damn.
So, but it's fine. I'm fine. I just
grind.
finished a busy period, so right now I'm just coasting. So
That's good. I'm also joined by my co-hosts. Say what's good, guys.
Yo.
What's up?
The legends.
Yeah, definitely the legends. What the hell? Let's get started this week. Okay, so we got our first topic here. The Lakers beat down the Nets with no LeBron and no Anthony Davis. Shooter definitely came up clutch. Their new addition, Andre Drummond, had probably his best game on the Lakers, 20 points, 11 rebounds, so he's done pretty good. What do you guys make of that win? I mean, obviously, we don't want to be prisoners of the moment, but what do you guys make of the B team Lakers?
They're playing better than I expected them to. They're not losing every game. They're putting up a fight. They're really good defensively. They just can't really score.
Yeah.
But, it's a good team. Obviously, without LeBron, they're not winning shit. But good team so far. They're holding a place in the playoffs. So
yeah, they definitely remind me of the 2019 Clippers, like the one before.
That took a game off the Warriors, right?
Yeah, they took 2 games off
Lou
the Warriors.
Williams,
Lou Will, Montrez
Harrell.
Yeah, that was a good team, and they definitely remind me of that because they're definitely defense oriented. They don't have a lot of star power, obviously. What do you think about it? We'll go with Sam.
Well, I have no idea what we're talking about.
I do actually, but Jack's right. I didn't watch the game, but what I did see was a Stephen A. Smith rant on Instagram, and so I don't know if you guys saw it. I think I may have seen actually Alohe like it. So and maybe that's why it showed up in my feed. I don't know. I get into some NBA stuff, and when I scroll infinitely, you know what I mean.
No,
but definitely seemed like Stephen A. Smith had a lot to say about it. And not really the game. I think it was probably before the game, and he was just talking about how none of the All-Stars really showing up, and he was disappointed.
Yeah, definitely, because we heard with Mark Cuban, definitely they were like, with hindsight, all these injuries and with this condensed schedule, because they're playing less games, but they're playing way more back-to-backs, and some teams are playing even 3 nights in a row, which is pretty messed up.
And they're gonna have to make up games at the end.
Exactly, and we've seen so many. We got AD, LeBron, Jamal Murray, Steph Curry, LaMelo. So many players are these are their stars. So the NBA is run by their stars, and their stars aren't playing. Not only is it bad for the teams themselves, but it's bad for the NBA as a whole. But what are your thoughts on this, Alex?
Yeah, I think you guys echoed a lot of the things that I had to say as well. And to double down on Jack's point with the Lakers B team, so to speak, being good on defense, they held Kevin Durant to 8 turnovers, and that was just Kevin Durant. Even though he did score 22 points in 24 minutes, the Lakers did force 8 turnovers, and they converted them, or they did the most what they could with those turnovers. So taking that takeaway from that game just shows that they are playing well on defense, and it's clearly showing with their victories. This is not a good reason to count the Nets entirely out, because in the second quarter they did bounce back with 63% shooting in the second quarter, and the game got really close at the half, 61-58. So to say that the Nets are totally out is unreasonable. I don't think anybody is really saying that right now. But but from what we see from the Lakers, they do have, this game revealed that they have a lot more solid players coming out of the bench.
For sure. Do you guys think there's gonna be chemistry problems when LeBron and AD come back? Because I mean, when egos rise, when the team plays better with, like, not better obviously, but the team plays well, and those shots aren't going to be there for Schroeder, for Andre Drummond. I mean, we even saw Marc Gasol, like, after they signed Drummond. I mean, he's still getting minutes now because there's no AD, but he even said, "Oh, like, this is probably like it for my career." I don't know the exact quote. I'm paraphrasing here, but he was basically saddened by he's not going to get any minutes, especially meaningful minutes in the playoffs. So what do you guys think about the chemistry of the team?
If you want minutes, you have to play good. So if Marcus wants minutes, he should just play better. I think it's just like, I'm being honest, like, serious. Like, play better than Andre Drummond, you'll get more minutes than Andre Drummond. That's just how that works. So I don't know why he's bitching, because he's not that good this year. But on the chemistry thing, I mean, yeah, probably, but they're trying to come back, like, before the playoffs, so the chemistry shit will probably be sorted out, like, before the playoffs.
Yeah.
They've been playing together. It's not like they were hurt the whole year and now they're coming back. It's like they were playing, then they got hurt, and now they're coming back. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I don't worry. I'm not worried about that. But I don't know why Marcus is tweaking. He's like 30-something years old, right?
Yeah, he is. I believe he's 35 or 36.
Yeah.
I usually get these ages correct. Oh. Yes, 36. Haha. Yes, he's 36.
Yeah, so I don't know about that one, but yeah, I think it'll be fine.
Okay. Yeah, no. Does anyone have any last thoughts on this first topic of the week?
I think the circumstances are different. I wouldn't expect there to be a lot of beef just because of how crazy things are, right? I don't know. What do you guys think about that? I just think it's so different. Maybe they're overwhelmed. I don't know, but I don't think there would be a lot of beef.
No one's like, "Fuck LeBron, I'm taking the shots now." Like, that's not what's happening.
It's just like because basketball is kind of a free flow game, and there's even like an inch of like, oh, I need to take this shot from like Dennis Schroeder. No, Dennis Schroeder, sit down. LeBron is taking that shot. Or
that's the good thing about LeBron. He'll make like the basketball play. You know what I mean?
LeBron always makes a great basketball play, but
so, like remember when he passed to fucking Danny Green and he like airballed the shot? Like, LeBron's not the kind of guy to like demand like all the shots.
Yeah.
So I think that's, if it was like Kobe who was getting hurt and then Kobe's coming back, like there might be some chemistry problems there.
Yeah, but like at the end of the day, you don't want Dennis Schroeder taking more shots than LeBron or AD.
LeBron, no.
Yeah, no. But I mean, he's still gonna get his looks. But yeah, definitely like, even if there's an inch of like I need to do this from Dennis Schroeder or Montrezl Harrell or even Andre Drummond, they could be fucked. But LeBron has always been basically credited with being the best like team player, like the chef who like puts everything together and it just works. So I mean, I'm not really that worried about them, but it could be something that could creep up later into playoff series.
I played a lot like LeBron in my house league basketball, except I didn't make as many shots and I wasn't as good as dribbling.
I wasn't as good as I couldn't jump as high. I couldn't shoot as well. I couldn't pass as well. No.
But
it's the mental stamina and that kind of stuff. I definitely had.
Yeah, you're a team player.
No, we definitely like those.
You know it.
Okay. So for our next topic, I'm gonna have to play some sad music here.
We are a designer toy store in
bro.
Chicago. We added PayPal as a touch-free way to
play
pay.
the ad music.
Oh, we're folding.
Julian Edelman has retired, ending his 12-year career with the New England Patriots. I mean, I know you guys can't hear the music, but the viewers can, so I'm gonna roll with it.
Is it the sad little
it's like the sad
violin.
YouTube music, yeah, like
yeah, nice.
Alright, that's enough of that. So yeah, he retired after failing a physical, I believe. Julian Edelman, who's a 3-time champion, MVP, not league MVP, Super Bowl MVP. And yeah, so he's retired. So what do you guys think of his career as a whole? I mean, there's been arguments about whether he should make the Hall of Fame or not, which I think is pretty ludicrous. I mean, I don't think he should make, as much as of an Edelman fan that I am, no. But what do you guys think about that argument? Do you think he even has an argument?
I think he's going to go to Tampa.
You think he's going to go to Tampa?
He retired.
I'm
coming out of retirement.
Gronk retired.
Yeah, Gronk retired and came back
true.
out.
That's true. But
then,
Gronk's also younger, right?
I believe only by a year.
Like if Julian Edelman retired and came back, he'd be like 37, right?
No, he's not that old. He's not that old.
Yeah, but I mean, he's
34, I think, right?
Yeah, so if he retired for a year, he'd come back, he'd be 36. Gronk retired for a year before he came and played for the Patriots or the Buccaneers.
Yeah. I mean, that's because he just didn't want to play with the Patriots. If Tom Brady went to Tampa like a year before that, he would have came out of retirement. Because the only reason he retired is so he couldn't get traded to.
Rob Gronkowski is also 31 now.
Yeah, he's 31 now.
So he is younger.
Yeah.
Well, you guys saw the Super Bowl commercial, right? I mean, it gave the whole story.
Oh, I like that. That was a good commercial.
Yeah.
That was a good commercial.
The T-Mobile commercial, yeah. That shit was funny.
So, I don't think he's going to come out of retirement.
I mean, Gronk even said he gives him a 69% chance of coming out of retirement.
Well, I didn't know Gronk was our football analyst now.
I mean,
I didn't know he was the numbers guy.
Those are the boys, bro. Those are the boys. Those are the boys, bro. I mean, I'm gonna take him at his word, and I mean, I'm not gonna be like he's definitely joining.
But here's the thing: when Gronk retired, it was because of the Patriots thing. Julian Edelman retired because like he literally can't play. Like he failed.
Yeah. No, he retired because he got cut. He retired because he got cut.
Because he failed the physical.
If he didn't fail the physical, he would have played.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So, like, if he's literally too hurt to play football, it's a different situation than Gronk, who's just like, I'm taking a year off.
Yeah, but he did have an injury last year, so.
Gronk or Julian Edelman?
Edelman. Yeah,
he retired because he failed the physical. The Patriots were like, you literally can't play football. You're too hurt. So they cut him. And he was like, fuck, well, I got cut, so I'm just going to retire. You coming back from that is a lot different than, like, I'm taking a year off because I'm bored with football. And then
it's definitely different than Gronk.
Like, Gronk retired and, like, went to the WWE to, like, fuck around for a year. It wasn't like he retired because he was hurt.
I mean, because he was very, like, he retired originally because he didn't want to get traded. But the Patriots wanted to trade him because he failed a physical. So Gronk was also hurt.
Yeah, Gronk was hurt. That's true. But it's just a different situation.
Yeah. So, I mean, do you guys think he's a Hall of Famer?
Well, I heard this good take, and I like it. It's interesting. He was the guy was like, well, it depends how you look at the Hall of Fame. If you look at the Hall of Fame as like just purely based off stats, then like he doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. But if you look at the Hall of Fame as like the storybook of football, and like the Hall of Fame is like a representation of like the arc of the NFL, Julian Edelman definitely has a place like in that arc because he's been a part of like a lot of historical moments. So it's just like how you view the NFL, right? Like Eli Manning, for example, was like that did not have good stats. I mean, he did win 2 Super Bowls, but Julian Edelman won 3. But Eli Manning did not have good stats, but it's because he beat Brady, the GOAT, like twice that he will probably make the Hall of Fame. So it's kind of like it's the story of football. Julian Edelman has like a chapter in that story, so it's just depending on how you look at it.
Yeah, I mean, I see that take, but I disagree because I think you could tell. I
don't agree with it either, but like I see what he was saying.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see what you're saying, like what he was saying, but you can definitely tell the story of the NFL without Julian Edelman.
I mean, people forget that Malcolm Butler interception that won the Patriots at Super Bowl, Julian Edelman scored on that drive right before that.
Yeah, he did.
So if he didn't score that drive, they wouldn't have won that Super Bowl. Brady would have won last ring.
Yeah.
Same with that catch against the Falcons.
Yeah.
Where he.
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying like he hasn't had some all-time moments, but Malcolm Butler had the best defensive play of all time. But that's a chapter in the NFL story. But that doesn't mean he's going to the Hall of Fame.
True, but Julian Edelman also won like Super Bowl MVP and like
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
What do you think, Sam?
He was a part of the Patriots dynasty, that basically we've seen for the past basically 2 decades.
Mm-hmm.
From what I really remember of him, it was really he was just consistent. He was a really consistent receiver. So, yeah, in terms of Hall of Fame, I don't even know if I'm qualified to say if he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, but his stats are pretty impressive. But I don't know if it's Hall of Fame stats.
No, they're not Hall of Fame members.
Also,
and very consistent.
Also, is he even allowed to be in the Hall of Fame? Because he was suspended for a year based off like a PED violation, and doesn't that like disqualify you from being in the Hall of Fame?
I mean, it's not like the rules of the Hall of Fame is like what it says in the rule book is off the field stuff shouldn't count against you, but obviously it does. I mean, we saw Terrell.
Well, I know there was a rule in the NFL.
Yeah, there was a rule
for a while.
There was a rule, but now it's changed. I doubt that's gonna be the reason why. Like
he won't or will make
it.
Yeah,
he will or won't. I just think it's more that he just doesn't have he hasn't made a Pro Bowl. No All Pros.
I mean, Wes Welker was better than him.
Yeah, Wes Welker as a receiver was definitely a better receiver. I mean, there's not many slot guys I'll take over him. If you wanna compare him to just slot receivers, strictly slot receivers, he stacks up pretty well. But we don't really see those guys make the Hall of Fame. So
yeah, Wes Welker was a 2-time All-Pro, 5-time Pro Bowler. Julian Edelman didn't make 1 Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
And Wes Welker is not going to be in the Hall of Fame. So, going off that, neither is Julian Edelman.
Yeah. So
it's just because he played with the GOAT.
Yeah, he's definitely in the Hall of Very Good.
I mean, dude, he could make it in 30 years, for the ballot.
If there isn't many good players on the ballot, I mean, hey, you never know. But is he a deserving candidate compared to all receivers? I would say no. And I love Jules, but no.
Yeah, probably not. No.
Yeah. What do you think, Alex, the other Patriots fan on this podcast?
Represent? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I do agree with you guys. As good and as clutch as Edelman has become for the Patriots, he did contribute a lot to the Patriots dynasty. As an individual player, I don't see him making the Hall of Fame. The most impressive statistic that he has is that he holds the second place record for the most postseason receptions.
Yeah, receptions behind Jerry Rice.
Which is behind Jerry Rice.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best thing he has going for him in terms of legacy and actual contribution to making the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but that's definitely a result of playing on the Patriots. If AJ Green was on the Patriots, then you'd be and we're talking about AJ Green, good, a great receiver, really but not amazing.
Well, I think he still deserves credit. I mean,
Julian Edelman,
he's good and he's consistent.
Oh yeah, no, I said, as a slot receiver, not many stack up against him, but there's not many slot receivers, strictly slot receivers in the Hall of Fame. The receivers that are in the Hall of Fame who lined up in the slot also lined up outside the numbers. Julian Edelman just doesn't do that. Like he did that once or twice this year. I did see that, but like it's not something that he's done often. So yeah, I would say no, and I think we're all in agreement, right?
I think
yeah,
so.
but like in 30 years, he could fuck around and make it.
Yeah. I'm not saying he won't make it. I'm saying he shouldn't make
He's
it.
not first ballot.
Oh heck no. No.
Yeah.
So let me change the order of the topics. Actually, let me move this one up. So breaking news today. Obviously, we were just talking about this off camera. But the Brooklyn Nets center Lamarcus Aldridge, who they just signed after getting bought out by the Spurs, has been forced to retire essentially due to an abnormal heart
Well, he chose
beat.
to retire.
Huh?
He chose to retire.
Yeah, but like he was essentially forced to.
I mean, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. So, due to an irregular heartbeat, after the game against the Lakers, which we were just talking about, which just started to worsen after time. So yeah, what do you guys think of Lamarcus Aldridge, his legacy, and what that means for the Nets? We'll start with Alex.
Yeah. I think it's a given that it's completely understandable as to why he retired. I mean, you can't really play high level basketball consistently with a heart problem or a degrading health problem at the least. So that's just gonna.
Magic played with AIDS.
That's
not for very long though.
Arrhythmia, especially basketball, like Alex said. Basketball is one of the most intensive, like back-to-back sports.
He was playing with it though, and he was like fine.
Yeah, but I don't think AIDS affects you.
No, Lamarcus Aldridge was playing with the irregular heartbeat.
No, he experienced it during
the and then
Nets
he
game.
played.
He played, and then his condition worsened.
Well, he chose. Yeah, but like he could keep playing if he chose to. Like he could choose not to retire. I'm saying.
Well, if this is new, then you definitely really need to be careful.
Well, I'm not saying he shouldn't retire, but he was not forced to retire. He could have decided to keep playing. Never not like you're retiring.
Yeah, he wasn't forced. Yeah, but my mom actually has or had arrhythmia, and when you have it, it's just very unnerving. I mean, like he said,
I get it. Yeah, he was scared.
It's one of the scariest things he's experienced, and especially if you're doing like my mom's not doing basketball; she's not doing high intensity back and forth. If you're doing that, that's a huge life choice because that's probably the worst thing you could do with arrhythmia.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But he was not forced to retire. That's what I'm trying to say. I think that's a clear distinction we need to make. Like that was his decision. He chose to retire. But go ahead, continue, Alex. I just want to make that distinction.
No, you're straight. Yeah. Is he one of the older players on the Nets? He's like 36, right?
Yeah, he's pretty old.
Yeah, 35. Yeah, he's old.
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, as good as of a basketball player he is, him with the heart problem is just gonna not be good for the Nets. Not really going to be good for Lamarcus Aldridge's personal health as well. So I appreciate players like him taking their health into account and sort of being realistic with where they're at instead of forcing themselves to play just because of some like I don't know.
Like it's just basketball.
I appreciate people being realistic with their health and choosing to do other things with their life and outside of basketball rather than just having like basketball being the only outlet for them and then they're going to be forced to play. You know what I'm saying? They have this obligation to keep playing basketball even after like
for sure.
their prime.
Like keep in mind in 2007, Aldridge was diagnosed with Wolff-Parkinson's White syndrome, which is like another heart scare essentially. They're not sure if that's related to what happened against the Lakers. But like he's had heart problems, so like this was definitely the best decision for him. But yeah,
it is, by the way, Aloha.
It is.
Yeah, it is part of it. So he chose to play for those like 13 extra years with like what you just said is like part of heart arrhythmia. Like I just googled it.
Well, it said curious. According to the clinic, it is not clear if
Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome, right?
Yeah. It says according to Mayo Clinic, it is not clear if Aldridge's recent scare is related to that condition.
We don't know if that's what's related to, but like it is one of like the offshoots of heart arrhythmia.
Yeah.
Like so it could be. There's a strong possibility, but not for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, what did you think about it, Sam?
Well, I mean, I think it's scary when you deal with something like that, and like Jack said, it's not like he has to retire. I'm sure he was advised to at least take time off, and with things like that, it's not like a sickness, or like by that I mean like a temporary thing, right? So with things like that could be a permanent lifestyle change, which again in a high intensity sport, they don't go along together very well. So it's definitely sad and unfortunate. I maybe I'm a little bit surprised that he chose to retire so quickly.
That's what I'm surprised about too.
But I think it is a understanding position. So I get it. I understand how it can be very scary.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess with that, I guess we could talk about his legacy. We were talking about Hall of Fame with Julian Edelman. I think Lamarcus Aldridge is like as close to a lock as you can be, because in the NBA, it's pretty different. It's not like the NFL.
That's true.
If you're a 7-time All-Star, you're basically guaranteed to get in there. Let me go on because Basketball Reference.
It's a lot less selective than the NFL.
Yeah.
There's like two. There's the NBA Hall of Fame and the Basketball Hall of Fame, right?
No, it's just the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like,
okay.
I think there's other leagues in the Hall of Fame, right? Like for that. Like Euro players.
You could build a basketball court and then be in the Basketball Hall of Fame. So it really like with the NBA basically if you were like almost an above average player, you're basically gonna get in.
Yeah.
As for whether he's a first ballot, that's probably not gonna happen.
No.
Let me see if I can find him on this list.
He's like first team. He's like the leading rebounder all time for the Portland Trail Blazers and like the second most scope points, I think, like second.
So according to Basketball Reference, he has a 50.89 Hall of Fame probability.
So you're just a coin toss. I can see that.
That's above Giannis right now, Jimmy Butler, John Wall, Draymond Green. How is Draymond Green 31? Okay.
Giannis is a 2-time MVP. How is he above Giannis? I don't understand that.
Is time a factor?
But I feel like if Giannis retired right now, he would be in the Hall of Fame. He's a back-to-back MVP.
Yeah, these probabilities are a bit lower. Like they're being less generous. Yeah, they're being less generous to these players because they gave Derrick Rose an 11% chance, Peja Stojakovic 11%. Yeah. Andre Iguodala 6%. Marcus All 4%. So they're definitely more conservative than most lists are. But obviously, I think he's probably going to make the Hall of Fame. What do you guys think?
It is more than.
Talk closer to your mic, Sam.
Yeah, you're pretty quiet.
Oh, my mic fell.
Good job.
Hello.
Much better.
Yeah.
I was just saying, 50% is a lot greater than you probably think. Because once you get to over 50%, it's like, oh, he's likely to, right? But 50% is still in itself a coin toss.
Well, how does that work, Elohe? Is it like 50% every year he's eligible?
It just says Hall of Fame probability.
I think it's just based on prior data and analyzation of that.
For example, like for current players, like the fact that Stephen Curry is still 99.96.
Well, you can never be 100, right?
No, LeBron is 100. Yeah. Chris Paul is
really?
100. Kevin Durant.
You have a 100% chance? Damn. I mean, it makes sense, but like statistically, like I thought that was like impossible, but like I guess not.
Yeah. It's not, but.
What if LeBron shoots someone tomorrow? Yeah, he's not making the Hall of Fame.
Exactly. Yeah, that's.
So you can't be 100.
Okay, wait. Here is.
What if LeBron shoots someone tomorrow?
Just say it, like hypothetically, like. Can't be 100.
Okay, so they have like a stat. There's like a stat. What the hell? They take into account height, NBA championships, NBA leaderboard points, NBA peak win shares, and NBA All-Star game selections.
I love how height is the first thing.
Why?
Yeah, right.
Isaiah Thomas is down terrible, bro.
Yeah, he's down atrocious, bro.
Down
atrocious,
bro.
You're under 6'5", it's looking rough, bro.
Damn, you average 30 and 2. You average 30 points, 11 rebounds, 6'3".
30 All-Star games, but he's 6'1".
Yeah. I mean, Basketball Reference is basically the Bible for NBA fans, so.
The reason I asked the 50% thing is because, like, if it's 50% every year until he dies, and he will, like, make the Hall of Fame. Like, eventually, he will make the Hall of Fame. But if it's, like, 50%, like, one time, then, like...
It's probably not every year. It's probably just...
I think it's just 50% chance he'll make the Hall of Fame.
Ever. Like, in the history.
Yeah, it just says...
every year.
And it probably changes every year based on what he does. But
do you think the chance goes down, like the more times you don't get selected?
If time's a factor, then yeah, probably, maybe.
Or would it be higher because like you're not first ballot? Because like how Hall of Fame works is like if you're first ballot, it's like the first time you're eligible, you make it, right? Like Peyton Manning, as soon as he was eligible, he made the Hall of Fame. Like the more you go on, like second ballot, third ballot, so on and so forth. So I'm just curious if like that changes how.
Let's get him on the show.
Like, I actually do not understand this because, like, there are Hall of Famers who don't have 100%. Like, for example, Julius Erving has a 99% chance to make the Hall of Fame when he's in the Hall of Fame. So I think it's just...
He's not tall enough, dude. He's not tall enough.
I think it's just strictly their stat Hall of Fame selection.
Yeah, they just have an algorithm that just like calculates.
Yeah, so it's not like they're doing it every year. It's just this is the likelihood that you'll make the Hall of Fame in general.
But I disagree though, because with LeBron James, I mean, first off, statistically, there's no way, like Jack said, you could calculate 100%. You get 99.999, right? Yeah. But with LeBron, I mean, I feel like that's just something somebody put in because it's like obvious. I mean, I'm sure it would be very up there. Definitely.
I mean, I'm reading the formula right now, like, and it's making like no sense.
Are you really in though? Like you're in, but like, are you really though? Like,
it's shade. It's like you didn't deserve
it's
to
shade.
be.
You're like, yeah, you're in the Hall of Fame, but like, didn't deserve it. Not 100.
You weren't on my team though, so.
Yeah, the guy who owns basketball.
I'm just trying to see if there's anyone at 100 who's like. Is not going to make it. And I don't think there is.
Well, if you're 100, you're definitely I mean, according to that. Unless LeBron shoots someone, like I said.
Yeah, there's only a couple, like, current players. LeBron, Dwayne Wade. I mean, people who haven't made it yet. Dwayne Wade, Chris Paul, Dirk, KD. And that's it.
I probably completely got off, like, if Lamarcus Aldridge deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I mean... I believe he will make it one day.
Yeah.
He's not going to be a first ballot.
He deserves it, though.
I mean, if we're looking at NBA, yes. Like the Basketball Hall of Fame, yes. If it was the NFL Hall of Fame, hell no. What the hell? I mean, 7-time, it would be more debatable. It would be debatable, but I think right now it's more of a he's pretty much going to make it rather than there's a debate.
Can you tell me what Chris Bosh's Hall of Fame percentage is?
Chris Bosh?
Because if it's under Lamarcus Aldridge, I'm throwing hands.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Chris Bosh. Let me control F that bitch. 99.51.
Okay.
He is 50th all time. Yeah. But yeah. Does anyone else have something to say about Lamarcus Aldridge's legacy?
Is he gonna ring if the Nets win?
Yes. So that would be on his resume as well.
That'd be so stupid.
That would geek. That would geek. I mean, because technically he didn't play for most of the season, right? So they wouldn't have to give him a ring.
The team besides, right?
But the team, if they do win the chip, they're definitely gonna give it to him. Like, there's no way they wouldn't.
That'd be fine. They're like, Lamarcus Aldridge.
Who is that, bro? He played for us.
He played like 5 games for us. Thank you.
Just wakes up Sunday morning to get the paper and is, oh, damn, a ring.
That's weird.
Oh my goodness. All right. So let's move on to the next topic. Next topic is here in DC. The Washington football team might change its name. And there are some options that fans are basically asking for. Oh my god, all of these are very cringe. So yeah,
I know there are some really.
I just scrolled down and I was like, "What the hell?"
The Washington Club football division team.
That's like some soccer shit.
Yeah, it's like a soccer team.
Yeah, for real.
So what do you guys think? Do you guys have the list up? What do you guys think would be the best one?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
I don't want to look, bro.
The Red Hogs.
Bro,
Where is it? Where is it at? Where is the list?
I kind of think with the.
It's in the.
Oh, here it is. Is it in that link, CBS Sports?
Yeah, it's on the CBS Sports one.
I kind of fuck with Armada, the Washington Armada.
That's good.
That's one of the better ones.
This is my first time looking at it. I kind of like Aviators. That'd be my pick.
Why do they have football club, bro?
That's different.
I'm just so appalled why they have FC in like half of them.
I like Aviators.
FC, bro. They had it twice.
I like football team.
I mean, Presidents is kind of cringe, but like it kind of makes sense, like theme wise.
Yeah. Like,
There's
what is the
Royals.
Washington Swifts, bro?
The Wild Hogs. Now that's my favorite. That's my favorite. The Washington
that's what I
Wild
said.
Hogs.
Oh no, I said the Red Hogs.
I want the Wild Hogs to be my favorite.
I mean, because they're definitely not gonna change their color scheme, because that's kind of just iconic. So definitely, like, Wild Hogs would definitely fit burgundy and gold.
The
I'm taking the Wild
icons.
Hogs. Are you fucking kidding? The Wild Hogs.
Okay.
What the fuck? I'm a pig.
The demon cats, bro. Who came up with the demon?
That's
Yeah.
NASCAR BMX, not like Supercross shit.
Oh my gosh, bro. Please do not call Washington D.C. Football Club or Washington Capital City Football
I
Club.
kind of just like the football team, bro.
Just football team. Yeah.
Football team is fine. It's just like
Washington football team. Like
it's
the
like
Washington football team.
yeah. Like no one could find that offensive.
If that's where you're
right. They
going.
can't fuck that one up.
Like that can like literally never be. If you find offense to that, like I don't know what's wrong with you, bro. Like you're just tweaking for no reason.
What? Football team? No.
Oh, SJW's in our comments, bro. No, I'm playing. But
Yo, chill.
yeah, I mean, I don't know why, because I heard at the beginning of the season they were just like, we're not gonna change it, and then just some people were like, didn't care. That's more like me. Some people were pretty pissed because they wanted it to change. I'm looking at Juan Carlos here.
Our resident Washington football team super fan. Call him into the Zoom call. Juan, give us your expert analysis on the team name, please.
Oh my god.
Based on historical data.
Yeah,
Guys.
right? Statistically.
The potato skins. How's that one?
Ooh,
that's...
Washington.
Potato skins. Actually, there's some more.
It's kind of crazy because this just shows how hard it is to have like a good team name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because that has to stick for like forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because like the newer teams that we've gotten, like for example, Buccaneers.
You know what would be cool actually? What do you know the Metro line that takes you to the Washington Stadium? Like what color it is? Like red, green.
What color it is?
Yeah.
I believe it's red or
red,
green.
I feel like they could do something with. If it was red, they could do something with that, like red lines or something like that. I don't know. I just feel like that could be cool because it's like related to DC, like the DC Metro. Because a lot of the team names that we look at,
but like that's something only we would know.
That's the point.
But like there wouldn't be any mass appeal to that.
Like, well, I mean, I feel like team names needs to relate to like the culture of where you come from. Like, for example,
the red lines.
Like, for example, like the Jazz, right? They're called the Utah Jazz, but the reason they're called the Jazz is because they're from New Orleans originally, and in New Orleans, jazz is like a huge music like genre. They're called the New Orleans Jazz, right? I think that's like the best team names that like relate to like the Miami Heat. It's hot. It's like a cheesy name, but it makes sense. Washington Capitals, the Capitals in DC, like it relates.
Yeah, like those are the I mean, because like but like red line.
The red lines. I just made that up, but like I feel like something that like relates.
Yeah,
to, like,
no, definitely. Because like at first I remember there was like a huge cry for like, oh, let's make it something that's more respectful to Native Americans. I don't think that's in this list right here.
Native Americans.
It was like.
Wait, I don't understand.
Red something.
It's like.
Remember.
What I don't understand is like why aren't like the Cleveland Indians getting backlash? Because like
they
Indians
are.
Is, like,
they're gonna have to change their nickname as well.
Okay.
I believe next season.
Same with the Chiefs.
The Chiefs, yes. The Chiefs? Well, I believe so. Even though that one doesn't really make sense to me, but.
I'm also not Native American, so like it could be offensive. Like I don't know.
Yeah, because I remember there was a poll
but, like,
a while ago.
There
was a poll a while ago that it was like 91% of Native Americans did not care about the former name of the football team, right? Like 90, and that's a huge percentage.
They probably didn't care.
Yeah, they didn't care, right? But like someone,
it's always the vocal minority.
It was like some big person in the Native American community wrote a letter to Dan Snyder saying like this should be condemned or something, and then that's where they got people starting to like, oh, this is pretty offensive, let's change this.
I mean, it is. I mean,
it like reading about what it means. It's clearly
it's
pretty offensive.
Yeah. Even on the surface, not even when I was like 8, I was like redskin. I mean, it's just like race.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, it's just the color of the skin. Well, that was what white people thought anyway. They were red, clay, earth, all that.
Yeah. In terms of Chiefs, though, I don't really think Chiefs is offensive. I mean, it has to do with Native Americans, but like Redskins is obvious.
What was the Indian tribe that like, or Native American tribe that was like in DC?
The Powhatan, right?
Like the Washington Powhatans. Like, but that would people would still get mad about that. So you just have to completely like separate. Like, you have to completely change. So.
Yeah. That's why you gotta have like low common denominator type names like Commanders, Defenders.
But those names are so shit though. Those are so fucking generic.
Okay,
okay.
So I
don't want that.
Reading about
I don't want
Chiefs.
that on a jersey. The Commanders, like, bro.
I'm reading about the Chiefs, right? So their nickname is the Chiefs because the former Kansas City mayor's nickname was the Chief. So they could keep the name.
That's why it's offensive, right?
They could keep the name as long as they stay away from any Native American stereotypes. They changed Arrowhead Stadium. They basically have to. They can keep the name, but they have to like not mention like.
Was the mayor Native American?
No, his just nickname was the Chief.
So it was a white dude named the Chief, and that's why they named their.
I mean, Chief is like a
yeah, but they use like Native American imagery.
I know, so they have to steer clear from that.
Yeah, but that's why I think it's funny. Like originally, they were like, all right, we're gonna name it after a white dude, but we're gonna use like arrowheads and shit.
Because it used to be the Kansas.
It's so bad.
I don't even know how to.
What about the Blackhawks? Aren't they like Indian something like the hockey team?
Well, hold on, real quickly. I just want to say, I still, even if the Chief has a Native American context, I don't see how that's immediately racist.
Well, they would have to steer clear of any stereotypes such as the tomahawk chop, which I'm not aware of.
Yeah,
obviously the logo.
No, it's like a thing they do in the stadium. They go like this.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
They would have to change the logo and the name, which is Arrowhead.
I mean, it's just, I don't know. One interpretation is you're celebrating the native population.
Because it said the co-founder described the chop as extremely disrespectful, saying it conjures up images of Native Americans, indigenous people as savages. So yeah,
I can see that because like.
Well, if there's stuff like that, then yeah, I'd definitely be upset if they were like making stereotypes essentially.
Yeah,
I would understand that.
Yeah, so the Braves have to stop doing that as well, because they do the tomahawk chop.
Oh, right. Well, with the Blackhawks, their literal logo is like a cartoon drawing of a Native American dude. Like, Google it if you haven't seen it. It's kind of that's low-key offensive. I'm looking at it. It's just like a brown dude with like feathers in his hair.
Yeah, that one says Chicago Blackhawks CEO says name change, not in team's future. So it's kind of like the dance.
But then again, hockey's also like a white, that's.
Oh yeah, there's like, there. I mean, I'm sure many Native Americans are not watching the NHL.
It's basically the Redskin. It's very similar.
Yeah, it's either the Redskin. Yeah, but like no one talks about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I just feel like back to the name. I feel like something in DC would be like cool, like.
The monuments.
That's actually not even that bad.
That's pretty good.
You heard it here first.
Because like it has to be something that the players can be called. Because a Kansas City Chief, so that's a chief. So like that's what a player is called. So would a player be called Monument? A Washington Monument?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't know. I don't know if you're expected. The Browns. Come on, you can't do that.
Yeah, he's a Cleveland Brown.
You're a Brown. Yeah, that one.
Counter example.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, but definitely. Hopefully
like
they pick a good name.
Actually, it's like a bad name.
Yeah, hopefully they choose a good name.
Hopefully they make a new list.
Oh yes. Yeah, this list is atrocious. Please, like these are fan chosen. I don't know what Washington fans are thinking.
Well, we know what kind of fans Washington fans are.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So yeah, please change that. Get some better names, and yeah.
The Demon Cats. I just think of some like furry.
Just go like all minor league baseball just make it like crazy name, bro.
The Jubilees, the Jingleberries.
The Jingleberries.
Jingleberries, bro. Washington Jingleberries. Chase Young of the Jingleberries. No.
What Gladiator? That could be Washington Gladiators. You could be a Gladiator. That's kind of cool. But we just have better names in like 30 fucking seconds than like put together list released by like the official Washington like Twitter or whatever. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, those were sent out to season ticket members. So.
How do you think they're gonna? You know what they could do? That'd actually be smart though, Sam. Like they pick a list of like 3 names, right? And then they send them out to all the season ticket holders, and then they vote. And then whichever one wins.
That's what they're doing with these.
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
Is it what they're doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're horrible
names. Yeah, there's like 50 of them too. Like that's gonna be ass.
Well, they clearly need help choosing names. Hopefully the majority of people choose none of the above.
Apparently, Red Pandas was in the running, but just didn't make it.
I mean, that's not that bad. Okay. No, like a red.
It's kind of passive.
Like the most vicious.
It's not intimidating.
Or something. I'm pretty sure like a red panda is like super vicious. I'm pretty sure. So. Like,
yeah. All right. Does anyone have any last thoughts on the Washington football team's name?
I don't want to be a hog.
I think it needs a name.
Don't be the hog.
I don't want to be a demon cat.
Demon cat.
I'd rather be a demon cat than a hog, bro. There could be some sick ass jerseys like demon cat, like black and red and shit. Oh, whoo!
I wouldn't mind hogs. Honestly,
what, it's
not horrible.
A hog?
Well, I'm a turkey right now. I'm a hoagie. That's what I am.
Yeah, I know, unfortunately.
It says you.
I'm a duke, dude. Come on, that's cooler than a hog. Now, we're not gonna get into this argument. All
right, let's move on. All right. So I guess we can move on to the Usher controversy, which doesn't really make sense because it really shouldn't.
Usher Bucks, baby.
Usher basically is dealing with this controversy due to a picture that came out with a dancer who basically was like, ladies, what would you do if you danced all night in Usher? This is not English, bro. So basically she was mad that
chill out, bro.
bro.
Hey, we're live on air.
Yeah, you're definitely
this is not
English.
Bro, I don't know who wrote this, but this is not English.
Anyway,
she's basically pissed that he threw Usher Bucks, which is like the greatest meme of all time. Apparently, it's untrue, according to the strip club themselves.
Well, he threw the cash, right? But like it was supposed to be to like advertise the club. I guess the manager like didn't tell the dancers.
Yeah. So I don't know. He's under a bunch of flack right now when he really shouldn't be. It kind of sucks for him. But yeah, what do you guys think about this and his Usher Bucks? Would you pay 50 cents on the dollar for Usher Bucks?
If I want to, no bullshit. If they put them on eBay, I'll buy one. That's so funny, and like I'd frame it too.
It is such a meme.
Usher Bucks. It's just a picture of his face. Like that's actually really funny.
It is such a great meme. I don't know why they went through all that trouble. Like,
is there a picture on that tweet of what it looks like?
Yes. Let me.
Can you put it in the Discord, please? Or is it linked in the Discord?
Dude, it is hilarious. It is so funny.
Where is it?
He went in on those Usher Bucks, bro. Like,
I see what they look like.
I would pay $50. I would pay $50 for a stack of Usher Bucks. Just so I could make it rain with Usher Bucks. That would be.
That's pretty. Yeah, you know what? Facts, bro. I mean, cause like I know, like rappers when they're like doing that, they only put one real dollar on both sides, and then the rest is just fake. And I've seen like.
Oh, when they're like.
Yeah, and I've seen rappers just put their face on the fake money, and it geeks. But like, cause like when it shows up in the video, it's just such an L. But yeah, I would definitely pay to have some of these, no cap. Cause like, why is he so serious in the picture, bro? Like, why does it look all?
It just looks like Usher. Like that's such an Usher ass thing to do. Like, let me get the side profile.
Bro, like, if he ever releases a new album, this better be the album cover, bro. This better
for real.
If you want hella clout, release a single and make that your album cover.
Yeah, facts.
Like the single cover.
So they're trying to replace the $20 bill, right?
Yeah.
So we could have a Rosa Parks bill, or we could have an Usher bill.
I don't know. That's a
civil rights leader, good dancer. That's a tough one.
That's a tough one, bro.
But these are already made. The design's already done. Mm-hmm. All they have to do is start printing them.
Exactly. They just have to be worth value now. Just make it worth value, and you were
Bitcoin, like anything.
Yeah.
You can move on. This is a stupid story.
My girlfriend posted this. I've never seen this level of fuckery. Exactly why we stay away from celebs most of the time. They suck, cheap as fuck.
Yeah. That person clearly didn't listen to the story.
You did not get the memo. That's literally the ultimate you did not get the memo meme right there.
That's the ultimate, like, I read the headline, but, like, not the body of
it. Yeah.
So, Jack, do you want to tell your... Oh, never mind.
Oh, we move on.
Sorry, guys. That's for the next topic. I'm getting a little excited.
Usher story, bro? Yeah, I met him, bro.
Jack, talk about the time
back in 2009, bro. When he made DJ Got Us Falling in, bro, I was in that.
Wait, what's like one Usher song though that's like actually just Usher? Because that one isn't just Usher. Like, what's it just an Usher song that's like I don't know any.
What's the song? Damn, The one that was in
You don't even know.
the
Fire?
one that was in
Fire.
in The Office.
In The Office.
The one that was in The Office. Oh, he also has he has a lot of R&B stuff.
Yeah.
I just had never listened to Usher besides like that one, and like the one with like I think we made with like Young Thug or Chris Brown or something. That was kind of good. I don't know.
I think he has some David Guetta collabs too.
How about Yeah? Well, that's not just him, but
That's what I'm saying.
it's called Yeah 3X.
Looking at his Spotify, the only song on here that's like just him on this top 5 is called My Boo, and I've never heard that song. But apparently that's like
that might be the one I'm thinking of.
I think I've heard that.
Every other one in his top 5 on his Spotify are not just him. It's like someone else with him. I was just curious, but that one's not just him. Yeah. That one is just him. I don't know.
Yeah, I like his
Not a
song
big
called
Usher guy,
Climax. It's a good one.
I bet you do. No, I'm kidding. Stop.
Oh, Scream. Remember Scream? Do you want to scream?
Oh yeah, that's a good song. That's a good song. Yeah. But yeah, are we done with Usher here?
Usher or Chris Brown?
Chris Brown.
Quickly. Chris Brown.
Ooh, you know what? That is tough. It's not so easy for me.
Chris Brown has such a.
I feel like Chris Brown is just like better than Usher. Like he's a better he's just a better version of Usher. I feel like. I don't know. Could be wrong.
Well, clearly they're about the same morally, right?
Oh yeah.
Chris Brown's way worse. He fucking
Chris
beat
Brown,
the fuck out of Rihanna,
Chris
bro.
Brown.
What? Usher threw some fake money.
Did you not hear this story, Jack?
What
Did you not hear this story about how Usher dehumanized these women?
Dehumanized them. Oh, you're right.
Come on.
My bad. You know what's crazy, bro? What if he actually has some kind of like domestic abuse charge that we just don't know about? Just being hella ignorant. Let me actually check.
You never know in Hollywood, dude.
Yeah, for real.
Who do you pick though, Usher or Chris Brown?
I think I'm gonna have to go with Mr. Brown on this one.
It's so tough.
It is tough though. It's tough.
Chris Brown really does make songs good. Like if it has a Chris Brown feature, it's probably going to be a good song.
Yeah.
So, it's so tough. I don't know. I don't think I can say. I mean, I guess maybe barely Chris Brown, but just barely. I mean, I do like a lot of Usher stuff, and I think he's a good singer.
He's definitely a good artist, but like, yeah. I'm definitely going with. I woke up Chris Breezy.
All right, Usher.
Oh my
Usher,
God, the man.
Usher or Jason Derulo?
Usher. Jason Derulo is kind of.
Jason Derulo's. I don't.
No, you know what? I think I would choose Jason Derulo personally.
Let's go. I'm with you, Sam.
I just think he has some bangers.
He does have some bangers, but like his like prime was like so short, bro.
I don't know, man, but the songs he did make that I heard on the radio. Yeah, I mean that's a good one. I don't know, it's close. Again, it's close, but I think I'm gonna have to go with Derulo on that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's definitely close with all of
them. What about you?
I'm gonna give the slightest edge to Usher.
Okay.
On this one.
Dumbass nigga, Jack.
Oh, Sam said it too. What the fuck?
Yeah. No, nigga, because you were like, yeah.
No. Oh, because I was happy that Sam chose my side.
Dude, bipartisanship in the Just Chill chat.
Oh shit, bro. All right.
But have we confirmed? Just to confirm, real quick, he did actually pay the strippers.
Yeah, the manager did.
The manager confirmed for Usher. Yeah.
Yeah.
That whole thing was just to promote his residency at Caesar's Palace.
Yeah.
It was all big promo.
The whole story was a really okay.
Imagine getting paid to go to a strip club. That's crazy, bro.
Do they take?
Well, that's how residency works. Like, the place pays the artist to like show up like X amount of times a year. Yeah. So Usher didn't pay to. I mean, Usher did pay the dancers, right?
Yeah. No, he tipped. He gave the manager money to like tip all the dancers.
Yeah.
He didn't have to do that, but he did. So.
No, he's nice. I mean, if he didn't do that, then there would be an issue.
Yeah. This episode is brought to you by our sponsors, Anchor. If you've ever thought about starting your own podcast, Anchor is the easiest way to do so. It's free, there are many creation tools that work on both desktop and mobile, and Anchor will even distribute your podcasts to major hosts such as Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can even earn money with no minimum listenership. Anchor has everything you need all in one place. Download the free app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. Okay. Are we done with Usher here?
Yes, we can move on.
Okay. I believe that was our last topic, actually. But I know, Jack, you did have a story.
Want to talk about the Johnson and... Oh.
Yeah.
So, I'm not going to talk about the... Okay. You're not going to talk about the fake COVID things? That's like in the Discord now.
Fake vaccination cards? I can explain it.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically...
I haven't yet.
No, did you want to say your piece, or?
I think it'd be better if you said what you're gonna say, because what I say kind of like backs up what you're about to say.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, so basically, basically there was a TikTok user in Britain, and he was posting videos on there showcasing his like a stack of fake vaccination cards. He was basically flexing them and being like, "Oh, like I'm selling these. They're like about $7, like £5." That's what he was selling them for. But TikTok took his account down because it violated community guidelines. I mean, what do you expect? I think just the fact that someone is willing to make fake vaccination cards, and if there's like a significant demand for them, I don't know if there was a large influx of people buying these cards or not, but I think this reflects that people are like they're still more anxious and resentful than ever about vaccine treatments for COVID-19.
All right, yeah. So going off that, like the whole hesitancy thing. So I got my vaccine like Tuesday, and my friend went yesterday, right? So she goes, gets her vaccine, right? And every time, at least here at JMU, they make you sit in like the bleachers because they did it in like a kind of like a gym, like 15 minutes, right? If she gets her vaccine, she sits down. This girl, like next to her, is like, I feel like I'm about to faint. I'm fainting. I need help. She faints, right? From the vaccine, we assume. 2 minutes later, this girl next to her starts seizing. Goes into a full seizure.
This is from Johnson & Johnson?
No, this is from the Pfizer one.
Pfizer?
Full seizure for 2 minutes. They have to like hold her down, make sure she doesn't bite her tongue off or whatever. Eventually get her back to normal. And yeah, so 2 incidents in like 3 minutes of each other. So it kind of.
So do you think it was anxiety induced?
No, I think it was the vaccine. What anxiety is going to give you a seizure like that, dude?
I've heard
you can get.
I don't think so. I think it was the. I mean, I got the vaccine. That was fine. But there are rumors, not rumors. There are side effects.
There are.
Have a side effect.
Yeah.
Yes, it's technically they're all of these are technically unapproved. That's why they make you sign shit.
Yeah.
So like, hearing stories like that, I can see why people would be like, I don't know if I want to get this vaccine.
Yeah.
Especially that they're talking about like vaccine passports and like not letting you do certain things if you don't have the vaccine. I can see why people might want fake.
Yeah, definitely. Like if the vaccine is unapproved, it should not be an end all be all. Like there shouldn't be like a vaccine passport, because I mean if it's approved then like, yeah, but like it's not. So they ask you
like, are you allergic to this like chemical that most people don't know what the fuck that chemical is. So like you could be allergic and like you're just like, I've never heard of that. No, I'm not allergic. And then you take it and something fucking starts seizing.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
That's like scary shit.
Yeah, you should definitely consult. I would say like if you're like on the fence about it, definitely like consult your doctor first. Cause
take it knowing that there is a small chance that something bad may happen to you, but you're doing it for like the greater good of like returning society to normalcy.
Yeah. Is everyone here vaccinated? Or has been?
I get my second shot April 30th.
Yeah, I have been. I get mine.
So yes, the answer to your question is yes.
Okay. Then I definitely like definitely for the greater good, definitely like I would say do it. If you're saying no, I respect that, but like I mean, I don't think one side should basically say, "Oh, the other side is done." Like that doesn't make sense. Both sides of the argument makes sense. And yeah.
Yeah, I think you should get it, but you need to make sure there's something with platelets, and this is going to the Johnson and Johnson thing. This is one side effect. If you have low platelets, I believe, you may want to be careful about which vaccine you choose, or if you do have certain health conditions, you may just want to wait a little bit, maybe until a better vaccine, and by better I mean one that more testing, less side effects is available. But probably if you're not allergic to anything as far as and you're fairly healthy, you're probably going to be fine. You're very likely going to be fine, but of course, obviously it could happen theoretically to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, Jack, I had a question for you. Did the girl, you said she fainted? Was that before or after?
There was two girls. One fainted, and the one next to her started sneezing.
Both after the vaccine.
Yep.
Well, yeah, that's definitely not good. But that's why when I got my first one, they have you sit.
Yeah, for like 15
for
minutes.
15 yeah, for 15 minutes. It's probably how everybody does it.
Yeah.
I didn't know. But just sit there. Advice, just sit there. If you faint, it's better to faint in the hospital than in your car while you're driving back or whatever. So
yeah, for sure. That's why I definitely got a ride there instead of I took an Uber there. Like I was not trying because mine was at the mall.
Yeah, they told us not to drive there.
Yeah. So definitely be careful about that. But yeah, does anyone have any last thoughts on this topic? Because I did add two more that I don't know why we didn't have it in there previously.
The whole Johnson and Johnson whole repeal thing doesn't it was 6 people, right? Out of 7 million people who got the
Yeah, it's a very low percentage.
I don't understand why they completely repealed it.
It's a very low percentage. I mean, because when anyone hears vaccine, they are immediately they start getting paranoid, right? So even if 7 people
but do you think that the people who are planning on get the vaccine are now going to be deterred? For example, let's say the Johnson & Johnson wasn't repealed. Do you really think that the people who are planning on getting it after hearing that story are now going to be no, I don't want to get it? Because taking away a third of because the 3 main vaccines, that's a third of them gone. Do you really think doing that is worth it? You see what I'm saying?
I mean, I would say no. That's what I'm saying. I would say no. Yeah. For me personally, I wouldn't have taken the Johnson & Johnson one at all if they offered that to me.
Wanted, low key.
I was not going to take that one because it's pretty fucked. But
yeah, their side effects are pretty bad. But it's 1 dose, bro. It's more.
I know it's only 1 dose, but I would rather take 2 doses. I would rather take 2 doses of something, because for me it makes me feel safer that I have 2 doses rather than 1. And I know that's not.
Yeah, it's sus that they're all to accept that one.
Yeah, that's pretty that. Immediately my sus meter was what? But yeah, definitely I don't think they should have taken it away. But if people were given an option, I think after that news came out, I bet you people would have taken the other 2 rather than that one.
Yeah, but what about the place that's the only one you could get and now you just can't get?
If that was, yeah, that's the only thing. But the appeal, the masses don't want it, so that's just what they're gonna do.
Do you think that's true?
Do I think what's true? Do I think most people?
We're gonna not gonna refuse to take that vaccine?
Yeah.
You think so? I don't think so. I think the people who are planning.
Pfizer?
No,
Johnson & Johnson.
I disagree. I think the people who are gonna take that vaccine, we're gonna that. I don't think that was gonna deter most people.
Yeah, I'm saying it's statistically, like you said, it's such a low possibility that if I was forced to take that one, I would still take it, right? But I would rather not. And with vaccines and everything, when people don't trust it already, they have to make it in a. They have to make it
PR.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. They have to make it in a good light. So definitely, it makes sense why they did it. But still kind of fucked, you know. But it is what it is.
This is why medicine shouldn't be privatized, low key, because then companies can just do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
Whole different discussion.
Yeah. Yeah. So is that all for this topic?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just crazy.
Yeah. I added 2 more. I don't know why these weren't in there before, but I just thought of it while we were doing it. The first one was actually happened 35 minutes ago. So this is pretty recent. So this is pretty much breaking news. Chicago police say body cam footage shows less than a second passes from when a 13-year-old is seen holding a handgun and is shot by an officer. So he was just shot.
The 13 had a gun?
He had a gun.
Whoa.
And he was fatally shot in Chicago. So yeah. Nearly 2 minutes into the body camera, the officer can be heard repeatedly shouting at the kid's name was Toledo. I'm sorry if I'm fucking that up. To stop and to show me your effing hands. Toledo was like shown with the in the body cam footage. You can see the handgun. And he still yells stop. The officer keeps yelling stop, and then he fires his weapon once. And he was struck in the chest, and he later died from his wounds. The lawyer from the family is saying that he did not have a gun in his hand. So, I mean...
during his last second of life, he didn't have a gun in his hand, is what they're saying.
Yeah.
So, what he's saying, I guess he's saying that, 0.2 seconds before he, got shot, he dropped the gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the officer screamed at him, show me your hands. Adam complied, turned around, his hands are empty, and he got shot in the chest. So he's saying...
That's what the lawyer is saying, right?
That's what the lawyer... This is what the defense...
Yeah. That's what happened.
Yeah, this is what happened.
Officer just freaked out, probably, because he, the guy, probably, made some motion with his hands, dropped the gun, and I guess he was like, oh shit, he dropped it, the officer, freaked out, and, shot him. I'm gonna assume is what happened. That's what it sounds like here. Why this is news, though, is because beforehand they were saying he didn't have a gun, right? And now it's coming out and saying that he did.
Yeah, he did, yeah. So the attorney says it could be a gun. I'm not going to deny that it could be a gun, but I can't tell you with 100% certainty until I have that video forensically analyzed and enhanced.
Well, obviously the attorney is not going to say he did have a gun.
Yeah.
That weakens your case tremendously. But I think I'm looking at the video/pictures right. I'm looking at the pictures right now, and it's definitely
that looks like a gun, yeah. But this comes as kind of in bad timing, as we saw on, I believe it was Monday.
Yeah.
The shooting, which caused the death of Dante Wright, who was shot, ironically, 14 miles north of where George Floyd was killed.
Yeah, it's like a town over.
The female could be heard shouting "taser" before he was shot. And you can hear in the video, she said, "Holy shit, I just shot him."
Yeah.
So, yeah, what do you guys think about that? I'm gonna give my thoughts last.
Thoughts about
sloppy.
What?
Yeah, go ahead, Sam.
Thoughts about what, though?
Thoughts about the taser.
The taser.
What are we talking about? Okay.
Oh, we
just
switched
everything
that
as a whole.
situation in general.
Well, there's two different things. That's why I'm asking. Which one are we talking about?
I think we shifted over to the.
Yeah, we shifted. Yeah.
Taser one.
Okay, because I have thoughts about both.
Okay, that's fine. In fact, if you want to.
Okay, go ahead and talk about the first one, and then we can shift over.
Okay. So the first one being the 13-year-old?
Yeah.
I mean, it's tough because the kid had a gun, so I can see why the cop was. I think the baseline to all of these stories is poor training, right? If these cops are just they're probably racist first of all, but also poor training, and just allowing people to be cops who shouldn't be police officers, right? So looking at the 13-year-old one, this cop was probably very scared because when you see a gun, that can end your life. So he or she was the cop a girl or a guy? Do we know?
In the first one, I believe it was a guy. Yeah.
Okay, so the guy, the dude, is probably freaking out because he is not trained well. He probably shouldn't be a cop. If one gun scares you, you shouldn't be a cop. But he sees the gun, he freaks out. Unfortunately, it ends up taking the life of someone way too young, which is very sad. Regardless of the fact that if he had a gun or not, he shouldn't be killed for that. I think you should go to jail. He shouldn't be killed. The second one, that's just pure, in my opinion, like just pure racism and just like the inability to do your job correctly and just like a flaw in the police system when you allow people who don't have the right qualifications to be police officers. So, yeah, that's my.
So for that one, it's race. Does it say it's probably race?
Oh, the second one. I mean, it's. I'm not saying it's race, but like if it was we don't know what happens because I mean the kid like he wasn't white. But do you think, Sam, that like if he was a white kid, he would have shot him? Like honestly, I'm asking.
Personally, I think it's completely possible, especially after the whole George Floyd thing, that it could have been like, let's be more aggressive.
Wouldn't that make it less
Let's be
likely?
more aggressive with them.
What?
What?
You think after the George Floyd thing, the cops are going to be more aggressive?
No, I'm saying that sort of opened the eyes of the people, like saying that like that kind of stuff is happening.
But I'm asking.
Does that make sense? Like that's why I would understand that being a possible scenario, because that kind of opened my eyes a little bit. Does that make all I'm saying of it being more of a plausible opportunity, because before a lot of this stuff happened this year,
this has been happening.
This wasn't stuff. Yeah, but this wasn't stuff that I was really hearing about.
Really?
Right? No, before like this past year, I just wasn't thinking about a lot of this stuff. It really came to my attention. Why? What do you think about that? I mean,
I think that's kind of telling. And this is not an attack on you, but not more so the general population, how these kind of things escape your memory after not being talked about. If it's not talked about constantly, then it escapes your memory. And if it doesn't happen constantly, it escapes your memory. And if it happens constantly, that means people are dying, right? So the fact that, I mean, we saw Eric Gardner, we saw the George Zimmerman. We've seen this happen so many times.
George Zimmerman wasn't a cop, to be fair, right?
No, that wasn't a cop. That wasn't a cop.
Fair to Sam.
Yeah, but these types of stuff happen way too often, and it doesn't blow up unless it's on camera, right? So right. I think that's part of it, but I think that's very telling that like you've just become aware to it, because for me, I've been aware of it since maybe 6-7 years old.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it's something that, well, obviously I don't know exactly how you feel about everything, but I'm sure it's something you've been more conscious of throughout your life, just because, obviously. But yeah, for me, like, I mean, this stuff really started picking up the past 2 years, and obviously that's when I really, it became like, why are all these things happening? Like, why is this constantly in the news? It's like I'm getting sick of all this stuff happening all the time, right? So for me, and like you said, it's telling, I guess, but the idea is that, like, now hopefully the country, I mean, I've seen it a lot more in the news now, so people are definitely more aware of it because it's being aired more. But that's a good thing that's happening. But anyways, what I was just saying was just like, yes, it's plausible that they are more aggressive, to answer Jack's question, that it is likely that they are more aggressive. My opinion on everything is that I think that being a cop right now, there's just too much on the resume.
Oh yeah,
right?
For sure.
I think that there definitely racist cops, undeniably, but I think the resume of a cop. There's so many.
Yeah, cops are definitely being asked to do way too much. Like they should not be called for every situation.
Exactly.
And I definitely agree with that.
That's really, I think that's the fundamental problem. And when you say defund the police, I think that's a little bit, that's not what we should be doing. I think we need to make different divisions of things. So like, kind of like what I was saying, you know, kind of shorten the resumes for each position, if you will, especially for more like, you know, domestic things or just disturbances. You know, getting a cop there is, and I understand sometimes you don't know if a situation is going to escalate because there is a lot of crime that happens, right? But I think especially, you know, these past 2 years, like I've been saying, I've thought about it, and it is sort of like a fundamental problem in my eyes that, you know, cops do, they really have a lot of power, but I think that's just a problem with the system itself. I think it should be, you know, revised. I've definitely heard stuff of this happening in the past year, actually, of them sort of like, you know, saying like, hey, let's not put so much into like all these things, and let's put more into these kind of like, I don't know exactly what it was. I think it was in like New York
Like
City, and it was
programs to like.
yeah, like not just programs too, but just like different divisions to kind of, because there's so many different things cops have to do. I think it's super important, especially now. Like you said, Alohe, they're all like, stuff's being caught on video now, which is good, and so people can be held accountable. But it's time, like, you know, like this past year, it's just thing after thing after thing on the news, right? So it's like, hopefully we can get working on developing, you know, better systems. Otherwise, we're going to keep seeing this stuff in the news for who knows how long, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for me, I think my ideal like policing system would be where the police like fit the demographic of the community they serve, right? So, for example, Compton.
Then don't you think all the racist cops are just gonna pick the black areas so they can be racist?
No. So
Yeah, but they
like
couldn't
if
get in.
if they couldn't get in. So like
How would
let's say Compton, right? Compton is mostly black, so they should have mostly black officers. Is what I'm saying.
what if you're like in an area like that doesn't like have black officers?
What do you mean? I'm saying
What if like what if
because cops can get moved. That's a thing. Cops
yeah? So
can get
what?
moved.
For example, let's say you live in like Mississippi, right? Where like not most of the cops are white, and there aren't any black cops. What do you do about the areas that are black?
You're
You're
gonna
just gonna you're just gonna bring black cops from like California and like New York.
Mississippi
like,
is
make
mostly
them-
white though, so that's fine.
But you see what I'm saying? Like there
Mississippi
are
is-
definitely areas.
There-
That was an example, but are definitely areas where like it's not balanced like that.
I understand, but I think they could do a better job, like Alohe's saying, on like.
Oh, I agree with you, but I'm just asking. I'm asking, like, what do you do?
You can
People are always
relocate
gonna slip
cops.
through.
They can get reassigned to different places. That
Okay,
happens
so you
all
think
the
they should
time.
just like move them from like you should make them? They think they should be
Because they all
moved
work.
and, like,
Yeah, they
forced
all
to
work
live?
under the union, right? So they can definitely they have the
Well,
power
the
to
union
move.
of the state.
Yeah, the
right?
union
Like-
of the state, right? But there's a whole policing union for the entire country as well. So what
Okay.
I'm saying is they all those unions work under that big union, right? To put it into simple terms. So relocating cops is not as
All right. So
difficult.
second
as
question
you
then. Second question then. So you're just talking about making the resume of cops less complicated. Do you not think that making them now relocate as well, moving their whole family and whatever they have to move, is it not just making it like an extra step more complicated? Than, like,
Alohe's talking about a different solution, I think, if you will, than mine.
Oh, so like doesn't want to do like the make it harder to be a cop thing?
I don't know. He was talking about it.
Oh, I
think
thought this was like a joint thing. My bad. I thought it's like
No,
a joint.
so like
joint thing.
yeah,
It could.
definitely, that what Sam was saying will take much longer. Like that's
Yeah.
more of a long term plan, and they could they're not mutually exclusive. They could both happen.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
So definitely, what I'm saying is more of a short term solution. And
I agree with you. I was just asking, like, what do
Yeah.
you do in a situation where like you can't? There's no black cops around, but there's an area that's like mostly black.
Yeah, that
You
would
have to, like,
just take.
bring in a black cop.
Yeah, because because we have I don't know what the exact term is, but like the community cops that are like that everyone knows, right? Like the whole city knows who that cop is because that cop basically hangs out with them, right? Because we have those at school, right? Our SROs. Everyone knows who the SRO is. He talks to the kids, and basically, there's no fear that's involved with that SRO, right? Right now, there's a fear amongst the black community and cops. To stop that, you have to create a level of trust, which unfortunately first comes with race, because the black community sees it as a race thing, and clearly there is race involved, right? So without changing the race of the cops, right, in a sense, nothing will change. It's not like, oh, magically we'll respect and see the cops as trustworthy, right? It would have to take them seeing the cops as people who are like them for it to change. So that's why I'm saying the demographic of cops has to basically mirror the demographic of the city that they police in.
I think it's fair. That makes sense to me.
Makes sense. I think also like experiences of the cop plays an important role too. Like if the cop comes from an area that is similar to the area they're policing, I think that helps a lot. Like the race thing definitely helps, but if the cop is black, right, but he comes from an area that's still completely different to the area he's policing, I still think there's like a problem there. I think the cop needs to like have lived in that area, for example, like a poor area, so you can kind of understand why they're breaking the law. Because like you know, a lot of the time in these poor areas, unfortunately, law is being broken so that the people can like survive, right? Because there isn't any opportunity for them. So I think that cops need to like hope in the perfect world have like experience with those situations and like understand why the people are doing what they're doing. So like you can just connect with them more and like it's just more of a human connection than like a you're breaking the law, no ifs, ands, or buts. I need to now punish you situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I agree. I agree with both those things. And I really think the problem, and it's a really big problem, but it's the people who get through who really are the bad cops. And obviously that's how this stuff happens.
It's too easy to be a cop.
And definitely a lot of cops are great. In fact, a lot of cops
sure.
I met, and it's biased for me, completely different. I'm aware of that. But a lot of cops I can just tell they give off like a really good vibe. They know how to interact with people, and they're very well trained. A lot of ones I've met, and I'm also in a fairly privileged area, so there is a lot of bias coming in here. But I'm sure a lot of cops are like this. But of course, it's the problem is just the bad ones who slip through, and that's what you keep seeing. And obviously, there's enough for this to be a continuous problem.
Mm-hmm. Alex, I want to get your thoughts on this as well, because I mean, last time when George Floyd was killed, it was just me and you talking. So I definitely want to get your thoughts on this as well.
I mean, all of it is just really unfortunate that clearly when these things happen in the frequency and to the degree that they are happening right now, there's definitely still a big problem that needs to be changed. You can't ignore it at this point. And I think the solutions and sort of means of kind of alleviating this problem that we're discussing, I feel like that's a good thing that we're doing by encouraging discussions such as these, sort of making people more aware of the fact. And and if we're gonna get down to like the specifics, um, was the police officer that thought the weapon was a taser, but it was actually a gun? Was she a senior officer?
She's been on the. She's a 26 department veteran, 26 years. Sorry.
Yeah. You have to be. There also has to be, like, there also has to be um certain degrees of accountability that have to be met when you make literally life altering decisions like these. Um, let's see.
Yeah, that's a good point. And are you there, Alex? Am I?
Yeah, I was just waiting for your piece.
Oh, okay, your picture froze on my thing. That's why. Sorry.
Oh no, sorry, my bad.
I was just going to add on that I think tenure is a huge problem. And I think that, like you said, the problem right now, there are probably a lot of, there are probably racist cops that have just been there for so long. And tenure is not just a problem in this case too. It's a problem in like education as well. And in fact, it's a problem
facts, bro.
Yeah. So just tenure itself, I think, is a huge problem.
Tenure is a different thing.
Yeah, there just has to be a restructuring of things. Maybe like more funds have to go to more like educational programs, or like it's basically stuff to increase the awareness of these kinds of things, because it's definitely a big problem, and I feel like people are still ignorant of the fact. And that's something we need to fix if we want to sort of make the race barrier thin. If that makes sense.
If you're racist. Doesn't matter how many people aren't ignorant.
And they're always gonna be racist people.
You can't not, unless the cops are like robots, there's always gonna be some human bias, right?
But we've all seen iRobot. We don't want that happening.
Yeah, right. We don't want them rising up. But for real though, like unless you create like an unbiased like AI computer system that just polices everyone, you can't. There will always be like, I thought he was gonna do this, so I did this human error level of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Of course. Like Alex said, accountability. If we could like make it better,
but like Alex said, that would help. Unfortunately, the accountability is not going to bring back the guy's life, right? Yeah. You're already dead. It doesn't matter how accountable you are, you're already dead.
Yeah, but like accountability can also serve as a deterrent for those cops who go out on who do it
that this
on
doesn't
purpose.
Happen again.
I mean, because
the person's gonna be held accountable.
I mean, it used to not be like that, bro.
Okay, yeah, like back, yeah, for sure. But now,
not
like,
that
the
bad,
cop is gonna be held accountable.
Not that bad.
Before body cams, yes, but ever since body cams became a thing, if you are caught murdering someone, like you're not gonna not go to jail or you're not gonna be a cop the next day.
Yeah, I mean nowadays, but like when you say back, it's been like maybe
30, 20 years.
No. I would say maybe 5-6, bro.
Okay. All right.
5-6.
So you're thinking 7 years ago, if you just killed someone innocently, like there were no repercussions?
I think it depends where you are.
I mean, it depends on the case, but it's happened where they've gotten off free. That's why, like, if they didn't get off,
there are outliers to everything.
Yeah, but if they didn't get off, if they didn't get off free, right? They're like, obviously we would still be like saddened by the death of someone, right? But we wouldn't look at the cops and say, okay, you guys don't get repercussions. Like, if they got repercussions, we would look at the cops totally differently than we do now. Now we look at it as reform of the cops themselves. Before, we looked at the system itself. Right? So we looked at the system. We looked at the system that allowed cops to do it and get off. Now we look at it as a system that allows cops to do it in the first place. Do you see what I mean?
I mean, it's not the system that's letting the cops shoot someone. It's the
cops. No, it's the system. Before, it was a system that let them get off. So we looked at the system critically. Now we look at the cops themselves critically.
Right, but if this was 2000 and I saw a cop kill an innocent person, I would still look at the cop like he's guilty.
Yeah, you would look at the cop, right? But like I said, before that, like, they weren't getting the same repercussions that they were.
You're saying it got more strict, like the repercussions.
They've gotten more strict, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, okay, but still, like, I think we can all agree that if it doesn't matter what year it is, if a cop was found to innocently kill someone, they're not.
Oh yeah, no. If there was a group of people who saw a cop killing someone, then yeah. But
it doesn't matter.
Now with body cam and everyone having a phone with a camera.
Yeah,
they're held to a higher degree than they were before.
Yeah, there's more eyes on them.
Yeah,
and that might be it. Actually, as sad as it is to say, that might be why all this stuff is coming out now, just because of phone cameras and accessibility.
This has been happening. It's just with the cameras that it's like, this is not new.
Yeah.
It's just when you give a human the power to be like judge, to basically hold the life of another human in their hands, like it's not a good system. I mean, we have no
definitely. We have like we shouldn't.
We have no alternative. But it's a flawed system.
Yeah. Definitely, it's definitely flawed to have one person in any given situation play judge, jury, executioner.
I mean, we have a judge in the moment. In the moment.
In a given moment.
Yeah, in the moment. Yeah.
There's a process to it. There should be a process.
What's crazy is like in other countries, it's even worse, where the cop can just like kill someone and just be like, "Well, I'm the cop, so I'm right."
No. There's definitely way worse countries than ours.
We're kind of lucky, dude.
But like, if we look at England, if we look at more developed countries, more first world countries like ours, this doesn't happen on the scale as it happens here.
Why do you think that is, though?
Why do I think that is?
Yeah.
Because of other countries don't have the same level of systematic racism that we do. There's like France, for example, has racism, right? Like, because I mean, I'm not gonna get into like how France is racist, but
you heard about the ban on like hijabs, right, or whatever.
Yeah, and they have like they're basically keep people in tenements. Like it's pretty bad, right? But on the police side of things, it's not the same as it is here, because police here, I mean, they started out as slave catchers, right? So I mean, ingrained in not in every police officer, but in the system itself is prejudice, right? They look at people differently and they automatically assume, oh, if you're black, you're gonna do this, whether than you're white, you're gonna do this. I mean,
I don't know how I feel about that.
We see that in stores. Like if you go to like a Target, right? I literally went to a Target to check this. The white like hair care products that are like for straight hair, completely open, like you could just pick it out and everything. The black hair care products are locked up and everything. You can't take it unless you get an employee to come take it out for you. So we have a different level of prejudice than other countries do. In my opinion.
I get what you're saying, but like, so you think it's like the system's making the cops like racist?
No,
I have another thing to say, but because I think Europe is open border too, so they have a lot of different people coming in and moving. So I mean, the fact of like toleration of diversity, it's probably just. I mean, Elohe is right. I think the whole slavery thing is a huge part of it here, but I think also just in Europe they have like open borders and they have just more diverse, just generally. I mean, culturally, there are all these different languages in Europe, and think about all that stuff. Versus here, obviously, it's really well. I mean, America's a mixing pot, but still, Europe is definitely like just you go wherever you want.
I mean, Europe is definitely less diverse than America. It's like mainly white people.
No. What do you mean by that? Because
like in America, like Black, Hispanic, Asian. I think there's a more diverse group of people in America than in Europe. You go to England, I don't think it's as diverse.
If you mean maybe not England in particular, but like just because
like Spain,
there are a lot of different like cultures.
I mean, yeah, technically Italy is like would you count Italy as a European country? Like, I'm curious.
And ethnicities. I think it's really more specifically like at different ethnicities.
Yeah, like would you count Italy as like European? Because a lot of people like
Yeah.
A lot of people say like, but those Italian people don't look like white people. You know what I mean? I'm not even like being racist. Like their skin is different. Like so a lot of people don't count Italy as like a European country. It is. They count it as more of like
white people.
But a lot of people look at Italy in terms of like ethnicity as because when people think Europe, they think like white people, right? Like that's just how it is. In Italy, it's not really like that.
I think that's unfortunate, but yeah, because it's obviously not just.
You think of England, what do you think? White people. It's just how it is.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know why it happens less in Europe, honestly.
That's what we're taught.
I get what Lohe's
like
saying about like systematic racism.
Yeah, we're just brought up with it, kind of.
I just think that like if you're a racist, it doesn't matter what country you're in, you're gonna be like racist. You know what I mean? There are probably more racists in America. Like there are definitely like racists in like Europe. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure. I wasn't making the case that all of them are not racist, and I'm not making the case that everyone in America is racist. I'm saying the fact that it's not a majority, but the fact that racism is ingrained in America, because America was built on the back of slaves. So America is ingrained in its past, rather than England, which was ingrained in. I mean, the king was pretty trashy to his own people, but
I mean, England like invaded other countries and like enslaved them.
But that's different because that's not how they started.
Yeah, that's facts.
Yeah.
You also think that it's more of like a smaller sample size too, because like when people divide up police brutality, they look at country, not continent. So like obviously like France is a lot smaller than like the United States. So do you just think that like the statistics may be smaller because there's just less people, so like the chance of it happening is like less than like America, which is like this huge country?
I mean, statistically, you could look at it that way as well, but I feel like there's not like people aren't afraid of the police in those countries compared to ours.
I don't know.
I mean, so? I've talked to people.
I'm not from Europe.
I've talked to people in Europe about that.
I'm sure there's some people in Europe who are like, I mean, I don't know.
I have a few cousins that live in Germany, a few that live in France.
Yeah,
a couple
you're probably
in
right.
England,
probably right.
And they all say they're not afraid of the police, but when they come here, they're afraid of the police.
Do you think that's okay? I see that, but do you think that might be because that's like the way America's like portrayed, right? Is like the cops are words here, right? Like when people hear about America, they think of like police brutality. So when they come here, they're like, they think that, right? I'm
exactly. That's why so what I'm saying, what I'm saying is the fact that they're not afraid of the police there, I mean, but here,
because it happens way more here. I agree with you. Yeah. I'm just curious why. Like, why do you think that is? It's an interesting conversation.
I learned a lot. So they actually know, like, this news gets out to them too.
Dude, yeah. I just Googled the first Google I looked up, like the rate of police brutality in America is like, all right, it's 33.5 per 10 million residents, right? Like reported as police brutality. The second highest is Canada, and it's 9.8.
Yeah.
That's the second high. That's the dramatic difference. So obviously.
And Canada too, man.
Yeah, I mean, Canada's pretty gnarly, and then Australia is third, and then the Netherlands is 2.3, and then after that it just drops off completely.
Yeah, so we see European countries are like basically not.
But like that's why I asked about the police brutality thing, because obviously like the country of like Japan is on this list at 0.2, right? But Japan is fucking tiny compared to the United States, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like that might impact it a little bit.
But isn't it per capita?
It's for 10 million residents. There's obviously 10 way less residents in Japan than in America. So, like this is obviously
I'd be interested to see per capita.
Statistica.com. This is just the first one I clicked on.
It's Statista.com, right?
My bad. It's also 2019, so it might be a little inaccurate, but that's the first one I clicked on. I just Googled police brutality in Europe statistics, and it was like the second one. I don't know if you can find per capita. Like, I mean, you probably could if you look hard enough. But it's obviously way higher than America. We're looking at, like, at the end of the day, it's just way higher.
At least 3 times, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, the police department just needs huge reform.
It's just so hard
in other countries, like to your point, how it doesn't happen in other countries as much. A lot of other countries, police don't even carry guns.
I don't agree with that.
England.
Someone's committing a crime. No, I don't agree with that idea. Like, if you need,
that's what I'm saying, Jack. I think it depends. Like, that's why I'm saying we change like different groups.
What do you do if you go to like a domestic cases, like a counselor cop, and then the guy beating up his wife pulls a fucking shotgun out?
No, I'm not saying we shouldn't hold guns.
That's what Sam is saying.
I'm not saying we shouldn't hold guns.
That's what Sam is saying.
That's not even what I'm saying.
You're saying you should divide up the responsibility of the cops, right? So they
well, that's what I'm saying. But yes, you may need to have a firearm on you if you're a counselor.
Yeah, divide the responsibilities is basically what you're saying, right?
Training, it's a different livelihood. It's a completely different job. That's what I'm talking about. So you're not going to be on call for all these different things. You're going to be special. You're going to specialize in this particular thing, and yeah, you may have a handgun, but if you go there, you're trained. You have tons of experience, which we hope cops have anyway. But alas, so
in some cases that doesn't even matter.
It's not perfect, but
I'm
yeah,
just debating
and you're right.
I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that like dividing up the responsibility, like a fucked up cop is still going to be a fucked up cop. It doesn't matter what he's doing.
Agreed. Yeah. I mean, there's not much we can do there.
I think being cops is just a shitty ass job. It's just so hard.
Yeah.
And like going back to the 13-year-old one, I don't know how racist. We'll never know how racist someone actually is because they'll never like admit like, oh yeah, I killed him because I hate black people, right? But the 13-year-old having a gun, like, it's more understandable to me why the kid died, right? Compared to like the pullover, he was shot, she was reaching for the taser. That's unacceptable. Obviously, I don't want anyone dying, but when someone has a gun, I can see the point of view of the cop. You know what I mean? I can understand why the
I understand and I resonate with you, but I feel like that particular scenario, especially with a 13-year-old,
you know how bad Chicago is, though.
It's one
highest
of those
murder
things.
rate
It's
in
hard
the country.
to agree that the kid.
I don't want the kid dying, but like when you're a cop in the most dangerous place in the country, and you see a gun, you're probably freaking out, right?
Well, definitely, but that's what I'm hoping that my proposition or whatever would, because the problem's worse in these really dangerous cities. It's
because the cops are
So, but again, I don't know. I haven't tested it out yet, and unfortunately, it probably won't be implemented.
I'm just playing devil's advocate. Like, if I'm a cop, right, and I'm a cop in like a really dangerous area, and I hear all like the music about fuck the cops, I'm killing the cops, it's on site, yeah. I drive around, I see guns, I see the hatred towards me, and the guy pulls I see the kid and he has a gun, and it's so ingrained in my head the hate that the people have towards me. It doesn't even matter who I am. They see a badge, they hate me. It's just like that.
That's fair. That is a fair point. But
I can see why the cop would be like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah.
Obviously, the cop in that situation, I don't want the kid dying, but like I can understand from the cop's point of view why he's like, "Oh my god, like I could die right here, right now." You know what I mean?
Nah, going off Sam's point, right? That's why cops should be specialized in training. So the cops that are called for things that are armed.
What actually happened in that situation? I don't actually know what happened. Like, why was a cop there?
Why was a cop there? I believe
there was like a 21-year-old dude or something, I think. So in that case, that's actually a counter argument to what I'm saying, because it ended up being a completely different situation, I think, than what, and that stuff I think is inevitably going to happen at times. But obviously the goal is to minimize how often that happens.
Yeah, obviously, like going back to the human thing, unless you're an impartial AI, there's always going to be human error involved. So just how it works. It's just crazy.
Yeah. Alex, do you have any last thoughts on this topic?
Okay.
I'm just looking over to see if I can find any specific details about why they were confronted in the first place.
I found out what happened.
It was a 21-year-old.
I mean, it is.
So Chicago has like bullet detection technology. So when someone shoots a gun, they can see where it is. So this 21-year-old shot a gun, and they pull up. Right, they start chasing the guy. Is what it sounds like. They start chasing the guy. They start running down an alley. As they're running down an alley, they grab the guy. They grab his waist or whatever, and then it looks like they go to a fence. The fence, they grab the guy's gun or whatever, and then eventually it looks like, it's kind of unclear based on this article, but the 13-year-old appears with the gun is what it looks like, or he grabs the gun, something like that. So it was like Sam said, it's like a completely different situation that leads to something happening. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, and the footage shows less than 1 second.
It's never always like that.
There was only 1 second between the time when he picked up the gun and when he was shot at.
Yeah, the cop was like, "Oh fuck," because he was responding to shots fired. He goes, they grab the guy who originally had the gun. This other guy grabs the gun. Oh fuck, they shoot.
Yeah. exactly.
Really sad situation. I can see how it happened. Really sucks though. Really fucking sucks.
Yeah, definitely.
Being a cop in Chicago is yeah, it's not fun. Not fun. Crazy, but like this is gonna be so hard to solve. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely rest in peace to
everyone who's been affected by
Toledo, Adam Toledo, and yeah, definitely like, and Dante Wright as well.
Everyone, bro.
Yeah, definitely rest in peace to them. Yeah, I mean, reform is what we're looking for, and we won't get that unless we have these conversations. So I'm glad we did.
But at the end of the day, if nothing's done, it doesn't matter how much we talk about it.
It was a good conversation.
It was a good conversation.
Yeah. So yeah. I don't want to end on a depressing note though.
All right, I know exactly what we can do. So, Alohe, remember the project we've been?
I was about to say that. Yeah. So.
Oh, great.
Do you? You announce it. I want you to talk about it.
You want me to announce it?
Yeah, announce it, bro.
Okay. Well, I know it's what all of you have been waiting for, but Alohe and I are working on a collaboration project, a music project. So a song right now, and we don't have. I don't think we have a title yet. I think it's just called Alohe right now on my computer. I don't do a lot of collabs, so that's how it starts. But it's something we're working on, and we're hoping to get it released. You know, as I said earlier, I've been busy and I feel bad, but definitely want to get something going because Alohe's really talented. He can sing real well, and I'm one of the best producers on this planet.
Bro. Yes. Once I get a freaking stand for this freaking shitty mic, bro.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be awesome. That's a good mic. So I'm looking forward to doing more with that. But it's in the works, and we will definitely let you all know when it's released. So yeah, anything else you want to add, Alohe?
I mean, these guys have heard the sample, I guess. And what were your thoughts on it? Just to amp up the hype. Unless you guys roast me, which would deflate me.
Wait, what did you say?
I said you guys heard the sample. So what do you guys think about it? Basically, to hype up the
Oh, to hype up?
Yeah, the hype up.
That's fucking the greatest song I've ever heard. The fuck?
Yeah, I'm saying. Yeah. Bro, Alex is literally frozen with excitement, bro. Like he can't move. He's so lit to the side.
Frozen with excitement.
All right, now
can you guys still hear me though?
No, we can hear you. You just like
freeze
freeze every once in a while. Like when we were talking about the previous topic, you just look deep in thought the entire time.
I felt so bad. I thought I was like I thought I cut out, and I thought I was interrupting you.
Oh my gosh. Okay. But yeah. So that will come out soon. Yeah. I guess we'll look sometime during the summer. I mean, I guess next time we'll have Sam on. Probably we'll have a date. You know what I'm saying? Next time we have Sam on, we'll have a date.
It better be done by the
Yeah,
next
I hope
time
it's done by then.
Okay, well, yeah.
Hey, this song's gonna be in production for 4
Well, hey, we can
fucking
have Sam
years.
on. We can have Sam on like any time. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Going off,
That's true.
it's been like.
So we can
Like
have
at
him
one
come
time.
on before it comes out. Then we
Remember
have
that
the
one
date.
time I
and
got
then
called
it comes
on?
out.
Yeah, how long ago was that? Like
Emergency.
6 months ago?
Oh yeah.
What
6 months
happened?
we'll have
You
a
guys
date
called me-
for when it comes out.
Okay. Yeah.
I expect though, it'll be good. It'll be a banger when it comes out.
Yeah, it'll be a banger, and yeah, so look forward to that, everyone. Oh, also, I had a announcement on the last podcast. I guess I'll explain what happened to the last podcast, and then I'll say the announcement. Firstly, we had a guest last time. I won't spoil who it was, but he will be returning next week because we had some audio difficulties. So sorry about that, but he will be returning. And what I said at the end of that podcast was my sister actually has started a GoFundMe because she is going to Ethiopia and is going to help out a community of kids, going to supply them with basically basic necessaries for like schooling, so like backpacks, pencils, obviously food as well, shoes, and actually there she's basically getting them into private school. So I'll link that GoFundMe in the description of this, and I'll also put it in my Instagram story when this comes out. So yeah, go check it out, and definitely like if you want to donate, that would be greatly appreciated. But yeah, that's basically my whole spiel. Does anyone have any last things before we get off? This is a long ass fucking podcast. An hour and 54 minutes. Anyone have any last thoughts?
It was a good conversation we had, and it's really awesome to hear about your sister. That's really awesome.
That is really cool.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I guess that's everything. As we like to do here, this is actually new for you, but what we like to do on season 2 is have our guests sign us off. So if you would like to do that, Sam, we would greatly appreciate it. Thank you for coming on again. You were great as always, and he'll definitely be back. Like I said, for the the debut, our debut collaboration. You know what I'm saying? Because there's probably more to come later in the. You already know it. You already know the vibes. You know what I'm saying? You already know the vibes.
With your talent, definitely. No question.
You already know the vibes. All right, my guy. Let's sign us off, and we can get out of here.
It's been really awesome being here. I think I enjoyed this podcast twice as much as the last one I did, which is still saying a lot because I enjoyed that. But this was a really good one. I really enjoyed all the conversations. And yeah, look at the time, man. 30 minutes ago, my dad slammed on my door. He said, "Dinner's ready." So, but look, this podcast is important to me. It's important to support these guys for putting in hard work. This is awesome. The podcast is great. So, really appreciate being on. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so
anytime,
much for coming on, bro. And yeah, we just usually have let the guests say like, "This is Just Chill Podcast. Thanks for watching. Peace." And we dip.
This is Just Chill Podcast. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Peace, guys. Thank you.